Dan the Man Potts, Terry the Cherry Flewers. Big up, lads. No, nothing. What about LB? What about LB? Come on now. Big up, lads. Just a word on Victor Osimhen. Anyone who thinks he wouldn't be an absolute beast in the Premier League is mad. He's powerful, quick, and goal sense. Goal sense is, oh my God. Listen, I rate him. I think he'd be. We're going to move on to him in a minute. We speak about Chelsea, but yeah, Gunner Down Under. I agree. I think he'd be an excellent signing for anyone in the Premier League. And I wanted to ask you guys about that. Chelsea obviously are helping to fund this move for you, especially LB, because they're going to be giving Ati around 40 million euros to buy Samu Amarodian as their new striker. 21 years of age, very little experience. There are talks, Fabrizio has said it, and Ornstein, that they will also try and sign Victor Osimhen. But a number of outlets, the lead being Damasio last night in Italy, poured cold water over that and essentially said that Chelsea have left the race now to sign Osimhen. But Samu Amarodian, do you believe, LB, that's the answer to Chelsea's striking and goal-scoring woes?
It's just why are they signing this guy, man? Like, not being funny here. Another 20-year-old scored nine goals last year. Now, listen, I ain't seen the guy play, right? I'm just going off like what I think generically Chelsea need. Chelsea needs someone who's just knows where the back of the net is and can handle the pressure and has done it in the big games, right? You sign this guy, he's 20 years old. The pressure that this kid's going to be under from day one to put the ball in the back of the net is going to be wild. And if he gets off to a bad start, everyone's going to be slating him, just like people did with Nicholas Jackson. I just don't get why they go for another young player again, man. Like, come on, you've got to change tact. And listen, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I've never seen the guy play. I just don't think this is the right profile of player. I think they need to go for an older player, someone that can handle the pressure, someone that's been around the game a lot long enough, someone that can handle the UK media, someone that can handle social media, because it's a lot, man. Do you know what I mean? This guy misses an open net or something in his first couple of games, he's going to get destroyed. Can he come back from that? That happened to Nicholas Jackson. Or even, I know Erling Haaland was young. Remember his first game in the Community Shield when he missed the net from a yard out and he started laughing? Yeah. He's got an ego, he can deal with it. I just don't get why they just do this all the time, man. They should be going for, I back the super chat, they should be going all out for me, in my opinion, for Osimhen. He's someone that can handle the pressure. You know what I mean? He's been around the game longer than this kid. He's played at international level. And I just think he's more of the profile that they need. But yet again, they're going for someone young. I'm only judging the profile because I can't judge the player because I've never watched him. But I just don't think this is the right type of player. I think they need to go for someone older, more experienced.
Listen, I said Chelsea were finished and everybody laughed. I said I'll hold fire and say that if they go and get Osimhen, they go and got Eze, they go and got Pedro Neto, they go and got Zubimendi, they went and got serious players that people all go, oh, fair play. They're now changing their tune. They're going for ready-made players. Then I'd change my tune. But Chelsea are finished, man. Chelsea are finished. They've bought an 18-year-old goalkeeper, another 20-year-old goalkeeper. They've got about 6 goalkeepers now. I think they spent about 178 million on goalkeepers, and neither of them are good enough. This striker's going to do. Well, I say this striker's going to do nothing, but he could come in and surprise. But that's what we're looking and hoping for now, is that they surprise, just like Nicholas Jackson. Now, Nicholas Jackson isn't an awful footballer. I've said before that he's shit, but I do think he's shit in front of goal. But Chelsea, I just think the ownership, I hope they stay here forever. It's an absolute clown base, in my opinion. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I don't look at any of that stuff Chelsea are doing and go, oh my God, they're back. Oh my God, they're going to be back. Look at it. And I hate that. I'm really sorry that Chelsea fans get bitterly upset by this and think that I'm going to go, wow, Samu Amarodian, Chelsea are back. It's not going to happen. It's not going to come out of my mouth, that's for sure. I don't understand what Chelsea are doing, bro. And what I don't understand is that before a ball was kicked and before Pochettino got sacked, if I would have said to Chelsea, just to let you know, guys, the old Leicester boss is going to be your next manager. You're going to get his star, Dewsbury Hall, and Amarodian up front. Do you think Chelsea fans would go, buzzing? Can't wait for that season. They wouldn't, but you wouldn't know that when you listen to some of them. It's like, I really like the style of play. I know it's pre-season and it's not been great, but I can't look into that. Like pre-season doesn't matter. Mate, pre-season does kind of matter when you're looking at a new manager, a new style of play. And look at the players that are coming in. Nobody wanted Tosin. Nobody wanted Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Nobody wants Amorodian. If you're saying that, you're lying. Chelsea fans are lying if they say those three were on their wish list in the transfer market. It's absolutely mad. I'm here for it. I hope it continues. I hope Chelsea stay in the mud, and I hope Chelsea fight for top half again. That's what I hope. But anyone that's get behind this is a Chelsea fan. I cannot believe that more Chelsea fans aren't on the let's write and get these owners out because this is a shambles. Now, they've still got time. They could save the window. They could go all out for Osimhen as well. They could go and get a proper winger that looks tasty. They could go and get a proper centre half. They could go and get a goalkeeper that actually is the number one. It isn't fighting with the other five for the jersey. They could go and sort it out. But wow, at the moment, it just looks awful, man. It just looks awful. And I'm so glad it ain't my club.
There's a comment here that I saw on Twitter earlier on today from Roy, who's a big Chelsea fan, who quote tweeted the deal for Samu, where he says, profile we lack gives us the option to play over the press. Does that mean over the top? Over the press? Is that like the ball being knocked in over the top?
I guess it, yeah. Just launch it.
Yeah.
Launch.
Yeah.
It's a fancy way of saying Brexit style Tony Pulis ball, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, because I was like playing over the press. I was like, that just must mean like a ball in over the top. But it sounds better. Tall, strong, aerially dominant, dominates the box, great movement to score tap-ins in congested areas, bullies defenders, good outlet, who can run the channels in transition. For 35 million, it's a good signing for me. And where I disagree with what you've said, Potsy, is I think Tosin and Dewsbury-Hall are actually quite good signings. So those two I've praised, and I think they're good. But
good
this
for what,
is
though? Good for what, though?
Well, I think Dewsbury-Hall
for a top four, or good for going back to the title.
No, and I understand that. So I don't think those two as individual signings are going to do that. But I think it gives them some experience. I think it gives them a more mature.
I don't mind them. I don't mind
them.
To their
team. Yeah, they're good. They're good players. But I look at Osimhen that's seemingly available, and the fact that Napoli want Lukaku means there's a deal that can be done there. If they pull away from him, I can't wait to see the press briefings as to why. Is it salary? Let's see what it is. Amorodian, I'm not saying he's a bad signing for the age and the profile he is. So I agree with LB. Profile-wise, I get. As long as they go and get Osimhen as well. They need some experience. Like this kid, he could come in at 21, okay, and tear the Premier League up, score 20, 25 league goals, be amazing. But I just don't personally see that happening. And then you think to yourself, well, it's just a bit more inexperience added to their front line. Yes, they need to stop conceding so many goals as they did last year. But a huge problem, and even in pre-season, it's persisted. They get the ball well worked up to the edge of the box, and then when the ball's in there, they've struggled to put it away. Now, maybe he's the answer, but putting all of your eggs into the basket of a 21-year-old to improve your entire front line, I think's crazy. I think is a crazy move. I'm not saying don't sign him. I don't know enough about him to completely write him off as a player. But they absolutely have to pray, Chelsea fans, that the Marzio's news doesn't come to fruition and that they are still fighting to sign Victor Osimhen as well. Because I think if they don't, and they come into the season and their main four signings is a young striker and a young untested goalkeeper, and then two good level Premier League players, I don't think that's enough to massively progress to get them back into the Champions League.
No, I agree.
That's the bare minimum they need to try and do this year is get back into the Champions League. They need a lot more than this.
No, facts. And you know what? So look, Lukaku, how long's he got left on this deal now at Chelsea? It's a year or two. Right, so he's probably on some good money at Chelsea. So the wages argument doesn't really wash for me, tell you, because if you're gonna if you do a swap with Osimhen, obviously Lukaku and cash, right? The wages that Lukaku's on will probably just go to Osimhen. Now, maybe you might have to top Osimhen up a lot, right? I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much that you're going to have to top him up. Because I'm pretty sure Lukaku's already on decent cash anyway. I just think that Osimhen scares me, man. If Chelsea gets Osimhen, I'm like, yo, That's a serious deal. That's a serious player. They're getting some experience in there. If they get this Almironian in, I'm just like, just another 20-year-old. He only turned 20 in May. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to be able to do it on a consistent basis, week in, week out? Is he going to be able to handle the UK media? Is he going to be able to handle social media? It's a lot to ask, especially when you the rest of the team is young as well. I just listen. My opinion, I don't think this is the right profile of player. I think they should get a more experienced player. And if Osimhen is available, and you can also solve it by getting rid of Lukaku, why are you not just trying to force that deal through? Is beyond me.